Hi everyone, this is Dee from Passion for Paper Beads on Etsy.com. Today we'll be finishing up working with templates C1 and C2. This is the template that you purchased, the tutorial that you purchased from my shop and printed out. And today we're going to be working with page 5 of the tutorial, and these are the beads that I'm going to be showing you how to make today. Today we're going to be using both templates, page 1 and page 2, and you're going to go ahead and print them out. Again, we're continuing to work with the storybook pages, and we were working with the Lion King. So I've gone ahead and I've transferred my lines onto my storybook pages from my template, as we explained in the other videos. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at these. There's one that says top on page 1 and the top of page 2. The top of page 2 you're going to want to line up with the bottom of page 1, and I'm going to show you how to hook these together. I prefer to use a liquid glue like Elmer's, just the white school glue, and you're going to go ahead and try and do this left-handed so you can see better. You're going to go ahead and just run some glue down, make sure you get enough on there, and then what you want to do is you want to take the top of page 2 and you want to connect it to the bottom of page 1. And as you're doing this, you can see your cutting lines, and you want to try and match them up. You're overlapping about a ½ inch. You want to match them up so that the lines connect at each point or very close. What this is going to do is it's going to take your page, your bead strip pages, from 11 inches to 22 inches. After you hook them together, you want to let them dry for a while so that they're fully attached. And then once they're completely dry, you can go ahead and cut out all your strips. Oh, there's your long bead strips, 22 inches. I've already gone ahead and cut out the bead strips this morning so that we can try and get this all done. And what we're going to do is the first bead we're going to make, we're going to use 1 strip. The second bead we're going to make, we're going to use 2 strips. And the third bead we're going to make, we're actually going to be using 3 strips. You want to make sure that the page that you wanted to be your face-up part is all up on top, like so. And we're going to be using the bead rollers again from C-Bar 5 on Etsy. And we're going to be using the orange roller. You're going to need a glue stick and a pair of scissors. The first bead that we're making today, we're using 1 strip of paper. Go ahead and put some glue on the end of this one, and then you're just going to insert it into your bead roller, and staying on center, you want to roll it down. You'll find with this template that this one template makes so many different types of beads. They're all going to be a ½ inch from the hole to the hole, but they're going to be various different shapes and diameters just by manipulating how many sheets of paper you're using. They give you a really nice selection of beads to create new things with. When you get to the end, again, make sure that you have enough glue on the end to get that really secured. And as we've discussed before, if you need to make any adjustments, go ahead and do it while it's still on the roller. Then you're just going to hold on to it, turn your bead roller towards you till it releases, and then just slide it off. Just like in the previous videos, I want you to go ahead and I want you to push the ends down, making sure everything's lined up nice. And there you have what's called a bicone bead, because it looks like 2 cones hooked together. So that's the first bead. Let's set that aside for a minute. Now when you do the second one, you're going to use 2 strips of paper, and I want you to cut, I've already cut this out, I want you to cut the bottom one out about 2 inches. We'll wait to put the glue on until we get this one rolled. And then go ahead and slide it in and roll it down. And you can see how this one's starting to get a much larger diameter. This bead's actually going to come out more round and not a bicone. That's just really fun to see how you can just increase it by one strip of paper and totally change the shape of the bead using the same template and the same lengths of paper. Okay, so there you have the second bead. And all the beads after this, these three that I'm showing you how to make right now, are going to be made using these same three beads. We're just going to manipulate them a little bit more into another shape, which I'll show you in just a minute. Go ahead and push the ends. And there you have a more rounded looking bead, not a bicone. And then the third one, you're going to use 3 pieces of paper. Go ahead and lift that top one out of the way, and then you just want to cut off a couple inches on the bottom. These are definitely more advanced beads, but after you've gone from the beginning to this point, I have all confidence that you'll be able to make these beads. They're not that difficult. It's just knowing the basics and getting used to rolling and staying on center. And after that, you can do just about anything. Now this bead, when we finish it, is going to look more like what they call the saucer shaped bead, and it's using 3 strips, and you can go up as high as 4 strips if you want it really big. I'm just going to show you the 3 strips, but I'm telling you in the directions it only takes you up to 3 strips, but you could do a 4th strip. I've done it with these storybook pages and they come out really nice. This is the size that I used in the storybook earrings that are listed in my Etsy shop. So if you wanted to see how these could be used, you can take a look at those storybook beads that are the storybook earring beads. Okay, so this one now is more of a saucer shape. And again, if you need to adjust it, just go ahead and give it a little push. Push your ends down. And you can go in and really pinch this one too to make sure that all those ridges are lined up so your bead's as smooth as possible. And there you have the second bead. Now what I'm going to be showing you how to do is how to make the other beads listed on page 5. We just finished these, now we're going to go jump right into these. This bead right here is using 1 strip each. And what you're going to do, clear some of this out of the way. What you're going to do is you're going to take the ones that you rolled using 1 strip each, and you're just going to take and you're going to push it down on a hard surface. I'm trying to do this left-handed, and I'm a very right-handed person, so that it looks like a cone. Push your tip down just a little bit so you have a nice end. Make sure your ends are really flat. You're going to take 2 of these and you're going to do this. Just keep pushing them down and turning it as you push till you get them where you want them. And then what you're going to take and do is you're going to put a little bit of glue right around, like so. And then you're going to take these 2 and you're going to actually put them together like this. I'm going to use a shish kebab skewer and stick it on there so that I can really push these 2 together. And what that's going to do is this is going to make this bead right here, the number 1 in the second photograph. This bead's going to have a nice little ridge in between the 2 beads, and it's really great for doing wire wrapping because you can really get the wire right in that little ridge. Let them fully dry and they will be just as sturdy as all the other beads. The next one, the beads that you use 2 strips to make, same thing. You just push them down till you have a cone formed. Put your glue on the center, kind of, you know, use the tip of the glue bottle just to spread it around. And then these are a little thicker, so once you get them glued together, and use your shish kebab skewer to help you push them together and line them up, just go ahead and push them a little more. And that makes the next size bead. If it gets a little bit long on one end, just put it on your hard surface, give it a little push, and that'll help line up your ends again. These just take a little patience and practice, but they're really not all that difficult to make. So there you have one, and again, it's going to have a ridge. You can't really see it in the picture right now when we're working with the videotape, but there will be a slight ridge in the middle. So that's the second one. And then the third one, you're just using the 3 strip beads that you made. Again, push them all down. Put your glue. Put them together and give them a push. Having that shish kebab skewer in there just helps give it a little more support in the middle, just like when it was on the bead roller, and helps you line up all those sides. And you just keep turning it, making sure that it's lined up. You can pinch it from these sides. And then I usually just leave them on the shish kebab skewer till they're fully dry. And then I just go ahead and base coat them like normal, and then string them and dip them. This one's going to take a little bit longer to set up. And that gives you an idea. So that would be the larger bead. And again, if you need to just push your ends a little bit to get them so that they're matching on both sides. And that makes a really large bead. This one is probably about the size in the middle of a dime. So it's going to be a really large focal bead. Okay, and the next ones. Here it was just showing you how to push them down to get the 2 matching ends that you glue together. Down here, it's just the same thing we were just doing to make these cone beads, cone-shaped beads. You're just going to keep pushing them down, like so. And now if you want to make your cones more pointed, just stick it on the shish kebab skewer and just gently manipulate this with your fingers. Put your thumb underneath here and just kind of push your edge down like that. And that way you can get your cones to be a little bit taller, like so. And you can use these in this position in jewelry. You can also use them this way as almost like more of a teardrop shape. So you can make it a short, chubby kind of a pointed bead, or you can just put this in here and get it even more pointed. Whatever look you want, you really can manipulate these a lot. And I'll show you. If you take these, and I'm going to show you how to make the bell-shaped bead. I recommend using 2 strips to do this. And I have some that are already finished and glazed that I'll put up here for you to see. And these are some that have been completely, you can see how they're hollowed out in the middle and painted. So all you need to do for these is you want to stick your shish kebab skewer in again, put your finger down below, and start pushing it. And you're putting your finger up, pushing up underneath. It's kind of starting that hollowing out process. And once you get it going, you just take this out, and then you can just stick your finger up inside and keep gently pushing and turning as you go. And you can keep elongating your bell until you get it where you want it to. Another thing you can use is like the end of a Sharpie, and you can stick it up in there if you're trying to get them really, really pointed. You just don't want to push down too much on this end because you don't want this to get really thin. You want it to be thick. And then once you get it where you want it, all you have to do is take it and just pinch it between your fingers and start forming that bell shape. And there you have the bell, and these can be used as a 3-strand reducer like on a necklace, where you want it maybe chain on the back and then 3 strands coming out for a necklace. You can make 2 of these and make a really nice triple strand bracelet. And that is all the beads that I wanted to show you. This one was an extra, it wasn't in the tutorial. That concludes lesson 3 of working with template C1 and 2, and we just learned how to make 17 different kinds of beads just using the template that was included. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through my Etsy shop. Thank you.